Hello guys, hello girls, hello everyone. Welcome to this talk about character creation in Houdini. It's an honor to be invited here to Annecy to this HIVE to celebrate the power of making characters and character animation in Houdini. So thank you, SiteFX, for having me. And thank you for the awesome work that you do and for the artists that use Houdini every day. So on with the show. I work at this great place called Qvisten Animation. For the last 30 years, we have been making commercials, interactive experiences, games, rides, and what we're most known for, our animated features, and some of the most well-known IPs from the northern countries. We have been doing this for 30 years. We have made 29 feature films. We are over 80 employees, and here's our 30th anniversary reel with some of the work by my amazing colleagues.
Velkommen ombord på badebussen. Masse liv, snakker flere tusen typer sukkertøy. Helt så gøy, helt så kjempegøy. Vi danser og fester, elefanter og hester. Ta med besten og besta. Vi skal bare her er vi igjen. Varsko her, gidder ikke tute. Det var det bussen. Ikke lov å bade med tissen ute. Snipp, snapp, snute. La flasketuten sprute. Det blir kryss, klass, kruse. Bussen ned i rute. Hold saft, suse. Sjå bokane bruse. Det går snipp, snapp, snute. Eventyret ute. Hvem tripper på min bror? Vi skal bli feit, det skal bli stor. Har ei høne, har ei mus og ei løve og en pus. Drikker saft, drikker brus. Flokken tjener flus. Her er vi igjen. Varsko her, gidder ikke tute. Det var det bussen. Ikke lov å bade med tissen ute. Snipp, snapp, snute. La flasketuten sprute. Det blir kryss, klass, kruse. Bussen ned i rute. Hold saft, suse. Sjå bokane bruse. Det går snipp, snapp, snute. Eventyret ute.
Vi kan ikke gi oss nå.
Yeah. Who doesn't want to dance now? Well, the party started. Okay. So my name is Roy Kristoffersen. I'm the lead 3D artist at Qvisten XTND. Qvisten XTND, we work with visual part storytelling powered by technology. That means that we work on games, commercials, rides, and interactive experience. And we do like all sorts of things that is not movies, the things that you didn't just see, but all other things. So, by working with so many different platforms in terms of real-time technology and standard non-real-time rendering, we had to develop a different character pipeline that is somewhat different from the traditional feature pipeline. So, today I'm going to talk about character creation in Houdini, and this is like the beginners to intermediate talk on how to make characters from scratch in Houdini. It's for people that's starting out to use Houdini and the people who are interested in or want to explore the possibilities for character making in Houdini. So let's get to it. But what? Modeling in Houdini? Character modeling? You can't do that. Of course you can. Houdini is amazing at character work. So I'm going to show you a little snippet of some characters that I made entirely in Houdini. And after that, we're going to go through the entire process. Okay. These are two characters modeled completely in Houdini. Procedural. It's made for Avinor in Norway. Also made entirely in Houdini for an Unreal project that I did. The famous, what's it called, the donut tutorial, but my spin on it for students in Norway. And Happy Goat for a help organization in Norway. An evil witch from a family park also in Norway. This was odd as an egg. It was one of the first ventures into the one rig rule them all concept, which I talked about at KinFX. I'm not going to talk about that today. So if anyone is interested in that, please visit YouTube and take a look at that. And A Princess for Family Park in Denmark. So that was just a small glimpse of some of the characters which has been designed and made entirely in Houdini. And today we're going to solve some problems. We're going to solve this problem here. So by making this character, let's take it from the beginning. The traditional pipeline is that you model a character, you get it approved. It takes like weeks to get it done. Everything is like set and go. You rig it, takes a couple of weeks. You do some animation testing, takes a couple of weeks, and it is not approved. Limbs are too short, look great in concept, but doesn't work in animation or some pose or whatever. And you will have like a time span of weeks, perhaps months, before you can test something really, really early. So you have to remodel, re-rig, do some animation testing, and it's approved. And then you're done. So this is a problem, and this is the solution. Solve Houdini to the rescue. What I'm going to show you today is I'm going to show that we are going to rig, we're going to model, and we're going to skin and rig, and do animation and post testing all at the same time. And KineFX is the one that will solve that problem for you, and it will solve that problem for you in hours, not weeks. So we model, we skin, we rig in Houdini all at the same time. We use a rig to procedurally generate the geometry. We take that geometry and we refine and sculpt it with Houdini sculpting tools. And we use that initial rig that we generated geometry with to make the bones, skinning, and control rig in either Apex or Unreal for that matter, or anywhere else. And we render everything in Karma. So this is the crazy uncle concept. This is the lumberjack that we're going to make today. So let's start modeling. Rigging. So what we have here is that we have a rig. In Houdini, a rig is a certain amount of points, it's lines, it is whatever. So all these points here are like bones or joints. They're not that yet, but they're going to become that. So from that, I generate some geometry. I make an arm, and you see it. You can then see this all in real time. Make some legs, make a spine, make a neck, make a face. Now I do a blend shape between different topologies of that character. And what happens now is that I put them into a certain amount of poses and check for this. Since I have this enormous chin, my arm is suddenly too long. It will not be able to pick my nose. So what do? I go back to the skeleton, which I originally had. Adjust those simple points. Make the arms longer. Skin in no time. If you saw that, that was a skinning. That was a skinning made in a couple seconds. And all the fingers, everything is, if not perfect, but 80-90% there, and it's much better than any skinning ever made by any other DCC. So it's incredible. Now, does it touch the nose? Yes, it does. And this is a very, very common problem for making characters. And now we solve that in a couple hours instead of waiting for hours and weeks or months to get things done. So make a prototype of the character, make it ugly, doesn't matter, get things up and running, and see if your limbs and everything is long enough to be able to act and to do the things that you want it to do. So, okay, we're going to talk a bit about modeling in Houdini now and some important nodes, because Houdini is nodes. gonna go quickly through this. Curves, carves, resamples, sweeps, skin, VDB from polygons, convert VDB, and exoside quad remeasure. Without it, you're doomed. but you need all these things to get things up and running. So let's make the body. We use the skeleton the entire time. We resample lines. We sweep. We combine. Make the spine. Make the arms. The fingers. And what's really cool about now is that I'm making VDBs from it. So I'm using the same curves, which as I just generating the fingers to also make the nails. And everything is happening procedurally. So if I want the fingers to be longer, the nails will follow procedurally. If I want to re-sculpt them or do something afterwards, I can do all that. So now I'm just making like dummy geometry. And what I'm doing now is that now I have my dummy geometry. It does not look good, but it's a VDB. And now it becomes a bit more like if you're accustomed to ZBrush. You do your quad remeasure thing. So that's what I've done, my quad remeasure thing. And let's go a little bit back because it went really fast. This is my dummy geometry, it doesn't matter. And do a sculpt. And now it's fine. So then I have all the power of Houdini, of the proceduralism beforehand, and at the same time be able to sculpt and do like you would do in every other DCC. So you have this enormous superpower by which is only Houdini provides, and you have all the like other tools, which is all the other DCCs, and which is you're accustomed to. And it's really, really cool. So do a little bit of detangling so that everything just sits. Do a little peeking so that the bones don't go through the pants. A bit of coloring, bit of UVs, and more or less done. Same for the head. Make all sorts of dummy geometry. Make a smile. Ray that upon his jaw. Do a boolean so that it gets cut out. Make a dummy ear. Make a dummy head. A dummy nose. And a nostril. And combine them with VDB. And at the end, you'll have the VDB geometry, which just looks like rubbish, but it combines every other box or sphere that you have, and then you quad remesh that. And then you have decent topology, which is you can sculpt on. So, sculpting, super nice, super cool feature. All the coloring on this model is like vertex coloring, ambient occlusion, whatnot, everything is there. The inside of the mouth is driven by a curve derived from the sculpt. I do a bit of a hack and crack to get this up and running, but still. The same with the gums, the same with the soon-to-be teeth. Everything will just deform. So when the client says, "Oh, I don't like his chin; it's too big or too small or whatever," I can do a sculpt on the first sculpt, and the teeth and the gums and everything will just follow. So instead of doing like your regular thing, which is you would do in ZBrush or whatever, you would it will be a havoc, because what you need to do was to sculpt your chin. And then you have to re-sculpt your gums, re-sculpt your teeth. You have to move everything. So it takes hours to do that. So it's super annoying. But with this, using the procedural system of Houdini, you can do everything at the same time. Yeah, also good for grooming, hair and beard. So instead of, here we're making some hair, growing hair. Making loads of guides, and then also using the sweep node to generate more hair, reusing the same factoring of all the nodes for like the clumping and the length and everything to the eyebrows too. And one of the things that is really great about Houdini is that, now I'm doing his hair, I'm doing everything. At the same time, we always have this client. So this client says, I don't like the back of his head, it's too flat or it's too whatever, and you have to remodel it. And the traditional pipeline would be like, do the model, send it to Houdini, refactor it, do it, whatever. But here you can just move it, sculpt it, and the hair will follow. It will just move. It will just be there, and it will be generated within seconds. And here you have your crazy uncle with the crazy beard. So, all the cloth is also made procedurally with Houdini. I used the box clip. I clipped the geometry that I had in front. And what's cool about that, let me just stop this, is that if the client wants the character to be fatter or thinner or whatever, that shirt, that pants, that vest, that thing will just move with it. It won't follow. So making iterations, doing all these things, you will be super efficient adapting these workflows. Yeah. Here make some UV seams to get actual seams quite easily. Do some pockets. Yeah, and when that is all done, let's do some vellum brush. Let's add some wrinkles. Let's just paint it on and do a painting on where that is supposed to blend in, and then do some last minute sculpting, and then add some fuzz, and then you're done. Same thing with the vest. You have a certain amount of geometry, you remesh it, you quad remesh it, you get good topology, you do a bit of sculpting on it, and same thing here. Do a little bit of vellum, and you're done. Same thing with pants. It all, it's the same principle all over the place. But what's really, really cool about it is that this thing here makes me, if the weekend comes, I can go to sleep and know that it's not going to be a hassle to come back on Monday to fix the changes that the client wants me to do. I can fix them on Monday or Tuesday and whatever, instead of using the entire week to fix things. So when you set up all the things procedurally, you will be able to get so much more out of your work and be so more efficient. Same thing here, fuzz. Creating raying a circle onto the head of the character. And what's really cool about this is also that if you make his head bigger or smaller, that cap will go up and down. It will always sit on your head because it's procedural, because everything is adapting to each other. So, and making all sorts of small things, the front of his head, some crazy uncle letters, which is we need to have on front of his head. And even shoes. Everything is derived from a curve. Multiple curves here. We skin it. We get some garbage geometry. I like to call it garbage because it is. but you quadri-mesh it, and then it's not. Then you do a sculpting on it, and then it's like you would do in every other DCC. And Houdini is also great with booleans. It is not something that has just started working. It has been working all the time. And it is really, really good at it. So everything, again, just cuts out and works. Shoelaces are also procedural. So if I want more shoelaces, less shoelaces, more back and forth and whatnot, it will work. And those shoelaces also cuts hole in the shoes and sets up those little metal-y thingies on the side. Yes, those there. And there you have your shoes. Ready to be colored, ready to be set and done. Okay, a little bit of set. Or I suggest it's a bit of wood, a bit of plank. And this is my little tribute to side effects, the little helix. So I had to have that in my wood. So, but this also here is like everything is just derived from something. It is rayed upon. I scatter some geometry, do some booleans, and then I have this. And then I make some like planks out of it. Do VDBs, what's it called? Subtractions, and get this woody kind of feel to this piece of log, and it's all procedural, and I needed to have the signature there. So I just drew some text, I rayed it upon the log, and did a boolean, did some color things to get it right. Even did a little bit of wood debris, did some simulations. I'm not a simulation guy, but it's very easy to do it in Houdini. And there I have my wood debris after the choppity chop session. And last but not least, the axe. It's a curve. It's a thickness, some color, some poly extrude. And what I really enjoy about Houdini now is that I'm going to do some scattering of points, and the way that you can control those, and then so I make, you see that I control the size of it, and the destruction of the axe. And this here is, this is one of my favorites. It's so simple, but it's so great. Everything in Houdini is a line. And if you think of everything in Houdini as a line, and you sweep some geometry over it, it could be your leg, it could be your arm, it could be this wooden thing. You can just go in and move these points, and you can get a different shape like in seconds instead of remodeling this. And then I'm doing some VDBs again to have it more woody. And from the wood thing, I'm also extracting the metal thingy, I don't know what it's called, and then welding it, and then making a quadri mesh at the end so that it gets proper geometry and a little bit of sculpt. Oh, and this is, I don't know, this is some crazy uncle resin dripping from the axe, and it's just simple booleans and whatnot. So, there I have my model. But one of the really cool things about Houdini is that it has recipes. It has a library of node snippets that you use all the time. You make it once, you reuse it all the time, and you iterate on them. So what I've shown you now is like super duper fast how to make something. It's just to explain the concepts. But what you do is that you make snippets of code, and when you have it up and running and everything works, you can save it, and you can reuse it, and you can do everything with it, like this. I'm a huge fan of recipes. I have like 20, 40 something. I make them all the time. I have an Unreal Groom exporter, which is I use a bit of time on making. But what's really cool about that is that I make it once, it works, I reuse it all the time. So every time I make a groom, I want it to go in Unreal, pop it in, it works. Skinning in layers, which is way too many nodes to get up and running, but still I've set it up, it works. An FBX output to check that everything will go well into a game engine like Unreal. An Apex control rig, where you can animate in Houdini with groom and fur and everything in real time. Yeah, and all this is through KineFX. It's an extremely versatile rigging and skinning system. And I'm going to show you some skinning. Some procedural layers, attribute paint, and attribute transfers. So, I see that I'm running out of time, so I'll be quick. This here is the way to do skinning in Houdini. You make you have a model, and you skin it, and and you have. Let me see. Sorry. And you make a VDB of it, and then you transfer that skinning data from that VDB over to the action model, like this here, making a shrink wrap for the hair, because it's almost impossible to do like a capture of it in its total time. But you transfer the skinning to that. I have a checking skinning system where I just drive it through this system every day to just check that everything works. So, modeling, skinning, and rigging is suddenly easy. It's super efficient, and it's one of the best skinning experiences I ever had. It's so well thought out and clever. It's super nice, and from an industry standpoint, it does not get the attention that it deserves. So that's why I'm here. The transfer of skinning from the body to the cloth always works flawlessly. That means that if you have a good skinning on your body, the skinning on a shirt will be rayed in such a way that it will almost, in like 95% of it, it will follow. If you do that in another well-known DCC, it will not. You have to reskin, you have to paint, you have to do all sorts of annoying things. In Houdini, it's super stable. So it's so much easier to keep the client happy and the workload under control. And you can also, at the same time, do Unity, Unreal, or KineFX all at the same time. So you're free to animate in whatever medium the client wants. So like this, a little test of the character within Unreal. Very quick, very easy. It's not as finished as it is in Karma. But still, send it to Unreal, apply some control rigs, and it works. Because you use time to set it up properly within Unreal. No, sorry, within Houdini, and you send it to Unreal, and everything just works. And the same thing for Apex. You set it up once with your tags and whatnot. It might be a bit complicated in the beginning, but when you get a grasp of it, it's a very, very smart system. But you set it up once, and what's cool about this now is that if I put another character in, but I still have the same rig onto it, it will just reapply all the control rigs as you did with the first one. Everything will just move, everything will just be as it should be. So, and within seconds, it will be ready to be animated. That Apex thing is so awesome. It's like nothing you ever tried before. I'm just telling you, it's you just gotta do this. It's so awesome. So it's an artist-driven workflow. It has awesome tools. Yeah, razor sharp workflow, always to the point, extremely efficient and versatile, can handle crazy amounts of polys. It seldomly crashes. It do crashes, but not as often as anyone else. And it's just notes. You don't need to be a programmer. I'm not a programmer. No, not whatever. You don't need to be that. It's probably fine if you are, but the myth that you need to be a programmer to do Houdini, it's rubbish. Don't think it. Don't. You don't need to do that. So, do as your crazy uncle says. Do Houdini. It's amazing how character works, and it has endless possibilities. So, thanks for having me.
We're going to save the Q&A till the second presentation.
Okay. Yep.
Because we only have 2 minutes.
Yep.
During that 2 minutes, though, if somebody sees this kind of workflow and they think, oh, it looks so technical, and I've heard Houdini's hard to learn, what would you say to that person?
Yeah, but Maya on Blender is also hard to learn.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, so I've been doing Maya for 20 years. Doing Houdini for the last 3 years. And it has been the best professional choice career thingy of my life. I wouldn't be able to do all these things that I'm now doing in Maya. I'm sorry to say, but I wouldn't be, because then I would rely on some technical person, someone who was capable of Mel. I would have to do the things that we talked about very early in the presentation. We model, and then we rig, and then we do the animation tests, and we do all those sorts of things. But here you can do all in once. So yes, Houdini has some concepts which is very different than Maya and Blender. But when you get to grasp them, you will be so appreciative of that you have acquired that knowledge. You will never forget it. So I encourage everyone I know to just do this shit. So that is my goal for is to get everyone up and jumping on this ride, because it's an amazing ride, and will be you'll just be a more capable artist when you learn this thing.